If you're a glass half full kind of person, then you'll love this week's sale, which features a host of amazing Xbox titles, all at least half price off.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are two of the most iconic games of their entire era, and thanks to these incredible remakes, you won't even need to break out the rose-tinted glasses to keep them looking fine. Xbox Series X and S players can now ollie, grind, and kickflip their way across both games in 120 FPS, which makes the action incredibly fluid and might even help you land that fabled 900-degree spin. Or maybe it'll just make your face-first landing look a little bit smoother. Who knows? With a full set of local and online multiplayer modes, a range of beautifully rebuilt parks, and a soundtrack that goes harder than just about anything else in gaming, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 bundle is now 50% off.
Given that they regularly combine brutal gang warfare with karaoke and go-kart racing, it's safe to say that the Yakuza games have never been afraid to mix things up, but they took it to a whole new level with the most recent entry in the series, Like a Dragon. Swapping out the arcade-style brawling for turn-based battling, the latest game also replaces the iconic Kazuma with the somewhat more disheveled but equally charismatic Ichiban. However, while plenty has changed, you'll still find the same operatic storytelling, rich open world, and wild sense of humor that the series is loved for. Those suits have also never looked sharper, with Like a Dragon operating in eye-popping 4K on the Xbox Series X. So when you clobber your enemy with a crawfish, a handbag, or a devastating high kick, you'll look good doing it. Now 70% off, Yakuza Like a Dragon is also available on Xbox and PC Game Pass, along with an amazing selection of other Yakuza titles.
And if it's new spins on that wonderful Yakuza style that you're looking for, Lost Judgment is another great pick. Here we get to hop over to the other side of the law as Detective Yagami tries to solve a series of sinister crimes that have taken place around Kamurocho. Weirdly though, this side of the law also seems to involve a whole lot of kicking people in the head. Lost Judgment combines free-flowing melee combat with diligent detective work for a game that will test both your brains and your brawn. The Digital Deluxe Edition wraps in a bunch of extra activities to try and fighting styles to master, and the whole thing is now half price.
Tropico 6 gives you the chance to become the leader of your very own island nation. Although these days, perhaps that's not so much of an achievement as it used to be. As you gaze out from Tropico's sunny shores, you'll need to make some smart decisions if you want to keep your country's future as bright as its weather. There are lots of ways to go about leading your nation. You could focus on steadily building up a sustainable infrastructure that can support the steady economic growth of your nation, while also nurturing a rich cultural life for your people and maintaining stable diplomatic relationships with your neighbours. Or you can pay special agents to go steal national monuments from other countries and wage war on anyone who complains. Whatever you choose, you'll find Tropico 6 awaiting your decision in the Xbox Game Pass library, or you can buy it outright for 50% off.
With its third-person shooter meets real-time strategy gameplay and its stunning watercolor visuals, Valkyria Chronicles is a series unlike any other, and the fourth game sees it at its very best. Set in the same time frame as the original game, Valkyria Chronicles 4 revolves around a group of childhood friends fighting for the future of their homeland as the Imperial Alliance seeks to crush everything in its path. The Imperials might have a secret weapon, a superpowered warrior known as a Valkyrie who can obliterate entire legions with a flick of her hand, but our heroes have one of their own, the power of friendship. So yeah, your tactics are going to have to be really, really good. The complete edition also includes all of the game's DLC content, so you'll even have more places to test your military might, and it's now had a massive 70% blasted off its price tag too.
With the Crash and Spyro Triple Play bundle, you can take a trip back to a simpler time in gaming when bandicoots wore long shorts, dragons chased down egg thieves, and intergalactic reptiles challenged us to go-kart races to decide the fate of the planet. Ah, those were the days. But the best part is that you can relive all 7 of these incredible games, the original Crash and Spyro trilogies, plus Crash Team Racing, without having to put up with those pokey, pointy, polygony graphics. Beautifully remastered to take advantage of today's HD displays with HDR10 compatibility to really make those cartoony colors pop, these gaming legends are now ready to mix it up with any of today's titles. And all 7 of them can now be yours for just half of the usual price.
Arcade fighters are the ultimate easy to pick up but impossible to master games, and with Tekken 8 now looming menacingly on the horizon, now is the perfect time to start honing your skills in Tekken 7. The latest game in the series contains everything you could possibly want from a Tekken game. A diverse roster of characters that includes everything from space pirates to bodyguard bears, a variety of both single and multiplayer modes, and a ludicrously over-the-top storyline regarding the murderous members of the Mishima family. Won't they ever learn to just get along? Take advantage of this week's 85% discount, and by the time the 8th game rolls around, you'll be pulling off Soul Stealers and Mac kicks without batting an eye.
On the other hand though, it's actually a lot easier to win a fight if you have a ginormous sword in your other hand. Although admittedly in Soul Calibur 6, the other player does tend to have a ginormous sword too. Or a ginormous axe, or a spiked whip, or a great big stick. Something very large and very deadly anyhow. And if the game's expansive roster of heavily armed, flamboyantly dressed fighters still doesn't satisfy you, you're free to create your very own master swords person, or axe person, or whip person. You get the idea. Now 85% off, Soul Calibur 6 is the perfect place for those seeking a deadlier sort of fighting game.
You know, the future presented by Scarlet Nexus is a bit of a mixed bag. The good news is that we've discovered a psionic hormone in the human brain, which allows some people to unlock incredible powers. The bad news is that a bunch of angry mutants have started appearing out of nowhere and attacking everybody. Although it turns out those two things could cancel each other out quite nicely. In this action RPG, you play as two of the superpowered people tasked with taking on the monsters, combining traditional weapons with mind powers in a way that makes for some truly spectacular combat. Thanks to that vibrant anime art style and the Xbox Series X and S's smooth 60 FPS frame rate, throwing a train at someone with your brain has never looked so good. Available now on Xbox and PC Game Pass, Scarlet Nexus has also had 75% shaved off its price.
Last up, we've got another dose of anime excellence, Tales of Arise. This sprawling action RPG tells the story of a boy and a girl born on either side of a fierce divide. It's sort of like Romeo and Juliet, but with a lot more giant monsters, flaming sword attacks, and multicolored explosions. Like Scarlet Nexus, Tales of Arise is pure animated eye candy. Whether you're taking part in epic boss battles or just wandering around its wide and wondrous world. Although be careful while you're doing the latter because, as previously mentioned, there are a lot of giant monsters. Given its sweeping scale, a 60% discount on a game like Tales of Arise is well worth taking advantage of.
You do know what the best thing about a half-price sale is though, right? It means you can buy twice as much stuff. Let us know which of these delightful deals you'll be taking advantage of down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more hot tips. Bye!